So remember, this is more for anyone who may have some back tightness, maybe a little back pain. We're going to really process this as a therapeutic yoga. So go ahead, feet on the mat, grab the back of the legs, and you're going to roll down. And if you'd like, you can just move the blanket under your neck and go ahead and just slide those shoulder blades down. And you can tent your feet so the knees can drop together and the feet might be as wide as your hips or a little bit wider. Go ahead and rest your hands on that lower belly, right below the navel center. Start to scan through the body, softening through the back, the shoulder blades, the mid-back, the sacrum. And let go of any holding in the legs, letting them relax. Just using enough energy to keep the knees together. And now soften and relax the calves, the ankles, and the feet. And draw the knees upright. Rid of our blanket. And we're going to come into knee drops, all right? But we're going to take the feet together, the knees stay together, and the arms are into a T. We're going to draw the palms up. And now we're going to really just very gently draw the knees over to the right. And now engage into the belly, pull back to center. You're rolling through that low back. And then we're going to drop the knees over to the left. Keep the knees and feet together. Inhale to center. Exhale, dropping the knees to one side. Good. Engage into the abdominals as you pull to center. And go ahead and drop the knees to the other side. Good. And draw into the belly. Pull back to center. And then knees over to the right. And this is really we're just giving you a little bit of time here to check in and just start to notice if you're feeling any tender spots in that low back. And now come back to center one more time on each side, keeping the feet, knees together. And then at the same time, keeping the opposite shoulder blade anchored to the floor. And now come back to center and dropping the knees to the other side. Very good. Then come all the way back to center. I'd like you to take one knee at a time into your chest and give yourself a little hug. Hug in. Good. And you can rock side to side. And now we're going to go into a typical or traditional yoga twist. So you're going to go ahead and roll the knees all the way to the right. So you may shift your hips over to the edge of your mat and roll the knees down. Reaching, so my knees are dropped to the right and I'm reaching out through the left arm. Turning the head away from the bent knees. Just take a few rounds of breath. Good. And as you exhale out, take the top knee to the center, bring it up, and the bottom knee. Now you're going to shift your hips to the opposite edge of your mat. Okay, hug the knees in. Just a nice little stretch, and then roll the knees to the opposite side, reaching the right arm across the floor. Turning the head away from the bent knees. And seeing if we can really soften through the chest. Let go of any holding in the arm. Let the arm be limp. And then I'm using my left hand to just kind of assist this twist. Remember, this twist is great for most backs, but it may not be appropriate for somebody who has an effusion in the low back or a ruptured or bulged disc. It may not be suitable. So everyone is going to be different in how they would execute these yoga postures. So take one more full breath. And as you exhale out, take the top knee back to center and the opposite knee. Good. So holding the knees up in table position, I'm going to bring my hands onto my knees. And we're just going to do a little bit of that wave again. Remember, we're going to go back to that tilting of the tailbone to the mid-back. So when you push the knees away, again, we have that natural arch. And then when we draw the knees in, the tailbone lifts, and we're drawing the belly in and knees to the rib cage. And then we push the knees away, roll through the low back, the sacrum, draw the knees in. Good. And just a couple more times, pushing the knees away. Good. And then drawing the knees in. Now we're going to do some abdominal work, and this is very simple and gentle abdominal work. And if you do mat Pilates, then you're going to recognize it. So we're going to take the feet back down, and it's going to be a lot like single leg stretch. So you send the right leg out and you hug the left knee in. Now I'm going to have you pick that right leg up just slightly, and I want you, as you pick that leg up, pull the belly in and feel the low back connected. Now we're going to keep our head and our shoulders down, and then you're just going to switch. You're going to switch for 8 and 7. Keep the abs strong. Here's 6 and 5. Good. 4 and 3. Here's 2 and 1 more set. Here's 8 and 7. 6 and 5. Here's 4, 3. Good. 2 and last 1. Very nice. Hug your knees in. Amazing. Good job. And either we're going to roll to the side and get into tabletop position, or you can gently rock and roll all the way up. So we come into tabletop position. Let's take a moment here to ground the hands to the earth. All right, spread through the fingers, knees directly under your hips. And we're going to do a cat-cow child's pose, all right? So you're going to take an inhale. And as you exhale, you're going to round the spine, tucking the chin in, really working through the mobility of the spine. And now you're going to soften those elbows, start to slowly lift the tail, letting the belly soften, and then lifting up through the sternum. Good. Exhale, and let's push the floor away, rounding the spine, tucking the tailbone down, stretching through that low back. And now slowly, gently rolling through, lifting the heart and looking forward. Now holding the cow position, let's go ahead and push back into your child's pose. Let the hips get heavy on the heels, and then walk your fingers out so you're cupping your fingers, and let's keep the elbows slightly lifted as you drop the forehead down. So we get a little more upper back stretch. Good. Then take another cleansing breath, and as you slowly exhale out, you're going to come back up, but we're going to roll up into our cat. So chin to the chest, tailbone drop down, belly is tucked in. Inhale into our cow, lifting the tail and looking forward. Exhale, press through the palms of the hands into our child's pose. Drop the hips down. So the hips are heavy, the spine is long, really stretching, elongating that spinal column. Let's do this again. Take an inhale. As you exhale, round up into your cat stretch. Inhale into your cow. Good. Exhale, pushing back. into our child's pose. I'm still keeping my elbows slightly lifted. Palms are pressing down into the mat. Spread through the fingers, and we'll take a nice deep inhale. As you exhale, let's round up, coming into the cat, stretch, and now inhale into your cow. Good. Come back into a table position, and we're going to thread the needle. So threading the needle, I'm going to have you take your right arm, reach it up. So we're going to dive it down through so that you're going to come into the side of your face, and my left hand's going to press into the floor as I roll that left shoulder back so it stacks over the right. Now, some of us may decide to walk that left hand over the side of the face. That's one position you're welcome to try out. Or some people like to wrap it around the back. For me, this one, I just like pressing my hand down and trying to really stretch the traps. I want to open up those shoulder blades. Take another full breath. Now we're going to lift the torso up. Come back to your tabletop position. Let's do the other side. So we're going to lift the left arm up, reach it up, then dive it down through, sliding it out past your mat. Then I'm resting to the side of my face. And I'm going to press this hand into the floor, bringing this shoulder slightly back. That's where you're going to feel it. You can close your eyes and just take a couple of more breaths. Very good. Then go ahead and now push through that hand as you lift your torso up, bringing both hands back down to the mat. Good. So we're going to come into a low lunge. So I'm just going to have you slide your right foot forward. Now this is where you're welcome to grab that block or both blocks, have it on either side of your foot, or you can cup your hands down to the floor. You're going to drop into that hip flexor. And now we're going to bring our hands to that right knee or the quad and press down through the hands so the hands are now straight, the arms are straight. You're going to lift the chest, just a slight lift of the sternum. Good, grounding through that right foot, and now bend the knee. Take an inhale, reach your arms up. Rotate the palms towards each other and engage into the belly. Draw the belly firm. Take another full breath. And now draw the elbows into our goalpost or cactus arms. So we're drawing those shoulder blades together, keeping a small lift of the chest. Now we'll take another full breath and we're going to twist. So we're going to twist towards that right knee. We're going to twist, and now we're going to drop that elbow down. I'm going to create a fist and bring the fist into the palm of my hand. So we're going into a prayer twist, but instead of that, we're going to take that fist and press it into that left hand. Good. Take a few more rounds of breath. Very good. One more cleansing breath. Nice. And then we're going to slowly release your hands back down to the floor. Good. Just slide the right foot back. And now let's bring that left foot forward between your hands and drop into your low lunge, your hip flexor stretch. Now we're getting into those hips. And remember, the back and the hips are so interconnected that if the hamstrings or the hips are tight, it's going to affect your back. So this is all our great maintenance, our therapeutic session today. So take another full breath. You're going to bring your hands on your left quadricep. So I'm pressing my hands down, straightening my arms, lifting through the chest, and maybe slightly bending that front knee. Just pause here. Start to lift slightly through that chest. Reach the arms up first by your ears. And really firm up the belly. Take another full breath and draw the elbows out. So we've got those arms really open, the chest is open. Good, this should feel good. We're just drawing a nice chest expansion and broadening through the tightness that we sometimes have in the front of the chest. Take another full breath. Now we're going to twist towards our knee. I'm going to drop this elbow down, create a fist with my opposite hand, and press it into my right hand. So left hand has a fist, and we're just taking a nice twist here. Take 3 more breaths. Very good. 1 more full breath. Then you're going to come out of your twist, draw your hands down to the mat. I'm going to have you flex your back foot, your right foot. You're going to lift up that back knee. So both hands to the mat, and you're going to slide the left foot back. Good. Pushing into your downward facing dog. Very good. And then just press through the palms of the hands. Think of your spine just straightening up towards this. Good. So now we're going to start to walk the feet and the hands together just like we did before. But we're going to move the feet out to the side on the edge of the mat. Come into Malasana. And the elbows, you're pressing the elbows into the inner thighs as you pull the inner thighs. So you can use your blanket if you wish. Remember, the feet can be on each end of your blanket where you're drawing the elbows in. So this is the most amazing hip opener, and it's also great for the low back. So it's really stretching and widening that posterior pelvis. So pressing the hands together, just take a couple rounds of breath. Good, nice pose to finish off with our class. So bring your hands down to the mat or behind you and sit. Good. So we're going to come onto our back. We're going to take our blanket and let's take it underneath our knees. So we're going to do one more pose here. You guys have done great. Hold onto the back of the legs and roll down. Placing your feet on your blanket. Let's go ahead and walk your feet together and come into a bound angle pose. So opening up through the pelvis and the inner thigh. Relax the low back and the mid back into the floor. And then hands on the belly. Start to let go. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, give yourself permission to relax. And we'll just take one more big full breath in our bound angle pose. Taking the hands on the outside, draw the knees up, and then walk your feet to the edge of your blanket or the edge of your mat. And bring your arms into a T, all right? So knees are up, and then we're just gonna windshield wiper. Just going side to side. And just moving through the hips and the sacrum, finishing off with this really gentle twist. And we're rolling through that low back, just giving it a lot of circulation. And then go ahead and draw your knees over to the right. And take that right foot on the outside of that left thigh. Move into that soft, easy breath. You've worked really hard today. I mean, we did a really strong practice, but we also gave ourselves some really good therapy, some really nice postures for our back and our hips. So slide that foot off. Let's drop the knees to the opposite side. And now take the left foot on the outside of the right thigh. Just deepening that stretch in the hip. And just move into the rise and fall of the belly. And let's go ahead and slide that foot off. Stretch your legs out over your bolster and let your arms rest to your side. Let the feet and the knees roll open and the palms facing upward. And start to make small movements with your fingers, your toes. Maybe you'll even stretch the wrists a little bit, maybe circle them around. Reach the arms over the crown of your head, stretch it all out, point the toes, and now gently roll over to your right hip and shoulder. Coming to that embryo position. Very good. Just take another cleansing breath here. And taking your time to push up now into easy cross-legged position. So I'm going to grab my blanket. Bringing your hands onto your knees, lift your heart. Bringing the hands to Namaste and bowing your chin. The light in me salutes that light and that divine in you. And together we say, Namaste.